Welcome to Trading Lounge in the US stocks for the 8th of September. So we're looking at Facebook here, and I've got two counts. So this is the first count where we have wave 1 in play here, and we're looking for wave 2 to pull back in this space. And yeah, I mean, it counts okay, but I sort of prefer the next count because well, two reasons. Firstly, we're at a major trading level here, so normally what we would see would be the arrival, the reaction in 3 waves, and then we would see the first high above the level, which would be in 5 waves, and then we would see the larger correction play out here before moving higher. So even though I've just been toying with this particular count here, I think that we will probably be on this count here. So this is just the 4-hour chart, and looking at 1 and 2 here, and then all of this all the way up for wave 3 all the way up here, and then a wave 4 and then a wave 5 here. And this gives me the space to have the classic trading levels pattern, which looks like this here. So we already have the arrival, and we have the first leg in the reaction here. So we're still looking for this ABC pattern here, in this case wave 4, wave 5, and ABC pattern, and then moving up higher from that point. So in this particular trading levels pattern here, we are just currently about here in this here. So there is a variation on this particular pattern, and that would be this, where it doesn't pull back below the level, but I don't think that's going to be the case. But we just need to be aware of it, because we will be going, once we've got the first high in here, which I just call the reference point high, then that becomes the trigger, and then hopefully we can bring it down further than that. And if the market trades down here, well, then we also look at getting a position in there on the end of that as well. So, but based on the Elliott count, we probably won't have this pattern. We'll be having more this pattern here for this. So, yeah, so that's good to know. So within this pattern here, we are looking at, I won't go into the tick chart because I've got about 7 stocks to do, but just to bring this into perspective here, that's the 50-60% retracement level there. So we've basically already got the first move to the upside here for that. So I'll just clean these off here. So we've got the A wave, we'll get the B wave coming back, and the C wave up here, and then down again from that point, and then up from that point. That's probably where we are. Now, we won't go long until we've got some evidence in play, and the evidence would be, I'd need to see this as 5 waves here going in this space. So we'd need to see a nice clear 5 waves of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the ABC pattern. I'm just animating it here a little bit, and then up, and we can go long at that point there, and hopefully on one of these levels within this space. So this is where we're at, I believe, with this. So we'll just see how this plays out in this space for this. Let me just tidy things up a little bit here. We don't have a trade in here. We were trading long here last time, and we've exited at the 300, so that's the end of that trade. So we'll try to get back in if I can understand this. If it's clear that there's 5 waves here for wave C, and then we've got 5 waves here for this, then we know that if we get 5 waves here, that means that we're going to get another 5 waves over here for that. So that gives us at least a good starting point. But in a nutshell, we'll be looking for 5 waves, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here somewhere. So it's really just a trade. It's not a portfolio hold or anything, because then we'll be coming down in a bigger move from that point there. Okay. So the next stock. So this particular stock here, FLIR Systems, is the world's largest commercial company specializing in design and production of thermal imaging cameras, components and imaging sensors. It's a leader in its field. I don't particularly like the structure that we're looking at here for a couple of reasons, but one of the sort of good things I like about it is that this move down through here appears to be corrective in an A and a B and a C wave. Now, if that's the case, then we'll be making new highs up into this area up through here. But there are steps that we need to work with first. So if this is going to be an A and a B and a C wave here, then we need this to be wave 1 here, and then pulling back for wave 2 here, and then moving up from that point. So we need to gather more evidence for that. Let's go to the daily chart where I do have it labeled a little bit. So we've got the wave A here, B here, and C here. That's all cool, but really it's only an ABC pattern until this top gets taken out. But the reason I think it's a B wave here is because it's taken so long here compared to wave A here, because normally with corrections you'll have the guideline of alternation, which is simple, complex, simple, or more complex. So, and this correction just could get bigger at this point. It does appear that we can get 5 waves out of here, but I can also count this as corrective in here. So I'm not totally sold on this 5-wave structure just yet. This is the first time I've looked at this chart, so I need to ponder different aspects of it. If this is indeed a 5-wave structure, then we can look at this as an A and a B and a C wave coming down here and finding support, on these sorts of lows here. But I also have to say too that I don't particularly like it as an ABC correction, because it's just quite big and time consuming in compared to this move here. So it's possible that this is still just, all of this is still just a large correction unfolding here. It's not that we're going to buy it or we're interested in it at the moment. What we would need to see, and we would need to see, a nice impulse wave coming up in this direction and then an ABC here. If that occurs, then we have something at that point, okay? But otherwise, this can certainly just continue to drift down through here. So I don't have any real concrete evidence that that we can move up from this point. But it's a stock on our watch list, and I need to have a look at it, and I'm looking at it, and that's what I think about it at this stage. So it's certainly not ready at this point. So on that basis, we will move along to the next stock. Now, this particular stock here, Xone, is a global provider of 3D printing machines and printed products to industrial customers. It's also got its in-house 3D printing machines and so on and so on, and that's been one of my sort of favorites, and we've been looking at this, as you know, I've been doing the US stocks videos for a few months, and then I decided to start looking at all the disruptive, innovative stocks. So I've made a list of 130, but this particular stock was in the old list, and we'd been already playing around with this. But the point for showing the weekly chart here is just that I felt that the stock had landed at this point and was taking off at this point, and that's what we've been looking at here. And we can see the increased volume coming into play for this here as well now. So let's go in and look at this. So from that COVID correction low through here, the way that I've been counting this here as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 here, and 4 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave, looking back for the fourth wave here. And the fourth wave would pull back 38.2%, which would be in at this space here for that. So we're quite close to that at the moment here, so it's sort of okay-ish. The other point here too is that it would be nice to count this up here as 5 waves for wave 1 and 2 here, and because this is moving off in a really powerful way, so it makes it like it's going into a third wave. So there's a couple of different ways I can count, but I can't really count it as 1 and 2 here, and looking at this as a third wave, because this wave in here is wave 3 here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Wave 3 would be the shortest out of this particular sequence here. So even though it could be that, I'll just leave that in the background here, because as we go along it will become a little bit obvious of what it is, but technically I can't label it as wave 1 and 2 here for this at this moment, but I do want to see more of this. And yeah, we can also see the volume here for a bit. So we can see here, just while we're looking here, this is kind of interesting in reading volume, and which we can do with stocks, is that we've had this increase in volume here, and then we've had decreasing volume here as each bar goes up. So with reading volume, it's the amount of the volume in relationship to the volume and the price bar here, and then you've got the amount of volume and the range of the bar here. And then the next thing about reading volume is really this bar here in relationship to this volume bar, and also the price bar as well here. So even though that this is pushed up high here, and this is a lot of volume here, and it's moved up and it's been sold off, it's hit 13, which is a major trading level, and profit taking come in, and then the next bar moves up here, and that's also on lower volume as well. So on your indicators, that simply is just divergent. So we're seeing a market push up and volume diminishing here at that point. So that's telling us that it's not going to go on forever. So when you see that moving up here on each bar and then diminishing volume, at some point it's going to stop and roll back over. That's what it's telling you, and that's what the divergence is. When people use the RSI and draw lines across the two little humps at the top and all the rest of it, you can see it in the raw data, in the volume. Well, this is not the raw data, this is just another pretty picture, but it is the picture of the volume and the price, because in the markets the price is 50% and the volume is the other 50% that make up the whole. So the volume is telling you what's going on. Even though the price is going up, it's telling you, well, it's not going to go up forever, because we're not seeing increased volume, because a trend, be it up or down, needs increasing volume to keep it pushing in that particular trend. We can see we've got increased volume over the last bar here on this, so it's pushed it up there, so that's a positive thing. Let's just go to the 4-hour chart. So I will explain volume when I see it now and again. There is some information on our website, I think on the outside, free stuff on the outside, and of course members have got some videos on volume now. I think it's called Pumping Up the Volume or something. So 4-hour chart here for this. So this has been a portfolio hold for a while. I don't think that I think I did put it in the portfolio, I can't remember, yeah, so I mean, still with we'd been doing portfolios and we've been doing trades with this as well, and other stocks, but don't feel like you've missed anything, because you've either got a handful of stocks in your portfolio that we've done, and I would need to update that. But in a nutshell, what we're actually looking for with the portfolio, with the Nasdaq mainly, is that from the March lows, we've had that move up from the March lows, and we're actually just looking for the top of wave 1. We may have it in place now, there may be another little move up or whatever, but we're waiting for an ABC correction here. Once we've got the ABC correction, then we can start again with the portfolio stocks as well. We need that pullback there, otherwise we're just buying in at the top and we're going to be pulled back. So just really trade. So the green lines are just trades, and the portfolio holds I'll just put here as buys or whatever. But I know that we've got a good probably 10 of them. If you've got them, that's fine. If you haven't, that's fine as well. We'll wait for the pullbacks on those. So this this stock here, I just need to, this is at a major level here as well, again here, so we'll probably see new highs here. I just want to check on the intraday. Okay, this is just a 15-minute chart. I'm not too worried about this spike here, because from here we'd be looking at this as one and 2 and 3 and 4 here. So that spike I wouldn't really play out. I don't really take much notice of spikes like that when they're part of the trend. I look for where most of the trade was done at this particular point, and I can see that all of this, so I would class that as the top. I would look at this as the A, the B and the C wave here, and this move up through here would be up for 1, back for 2, up for 3 here. So we still need 4 and 5 here, and then there'll be an A and a B and a C coming back again. So I'll go back to the 4-hour chart and just draw that out for us. So that move that's going to the upside here, we still need to see it move up to those old highs, and then there'll be a pullback in here as such. So it's that second high there that you can go on to if you want that. And we are looking, the next level up for that will be the medium level here as such. So anyway, this stock is going okay at this point. Let me just clean this up because I won't come back here for a little while. So as I've mentioned before, with this new list that I'm putting out, I've got 1 month to get through the 130 odd stocks, and once I've labelled them all and I kind of understand them, instead of doing like 7 a day, I'll probably do sort of 15 a day, and that way I can keep on top of them all within a reasonable time span. So I've just got more work to do on all of this. Okay, let's move to the next stock. So this particular stock here hasn't traded that long. It's in the health, and it's in oncology, in cancer, blood tests and data sets and so on. The thing I like about this particular pattern though is that it's been traveling sideways here. So to me that's something that really pricks my ears up, because it's the accumulation process. So as soon as this market finds the support at the closest largest number, which is the 100 here, it gets a nice tested support on that, then we can move into this, and then we can go from 100, this sideways price action here in terms of squaring time with price will take us well up into the $200 mark. So, but what we want to do is just wait for some more evidence here. In terms of the count, I've got 3, 4, 5, A, B, C here. It appears that we can have wave 1 up here, but I can see that we can have another corrective pattern here, but probably unlikely. I think I'm on the right track here, but what I want to see is I want the market to sit on top of the 100 here. So what I'm looking for is a move up. We've had the move up here, the reaction really. Want to see the first high above the level, the normal trading levels pattern here, and then we can go along over here. So we'll just monitor it, let it fall into place. When it's ready, it will be ready, and if it does get ready, well then we'll have the timing. I mean, the markets are all about timing, so that's where the right timing is for us to make that safe position for portfolio and trade at that particular point. Alrighty, let's move on to the next stock. So we're looking at Alphabet on the daily chart here, and I can look at this like we did with Facebook in 2 ways. We can look at it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 1, and then we're looking for an A and a B and a C for wave 2. That will probably come lower from that point. And yeah, so the same with the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. We are looking at we're looking at the top here in 3 waves, so I'm not that fussed at the moment. As I mentioned, what we're really focused on is this space here. So we're focused on this move down through here on the Nasdaq is in 5 waves. So we know that we're going to have a corrective rally in 3 waves, and we know we're going to have another move down in 5. So we know we're going to have an ABC correction. It's possible that from wave 4 low here, having 5 waves up here to have the top in here as wave 5 here, and then actually pull all the way back down into this space for wave 4 here. But I don't know that yet, and we don't need to go there just yet. Even though it's a little bit frightening that this has moved down sharply and we start to think emotionally about how bad things can get, well, normally in an A wave, if this is going to be an ABC correction here, the market moves up. The A wave comes down, always comes, well, most of the time comes down quite sharp and takes out stops and all sorts of things. And then the B wave comes up, and then the C wave is on more of an angle. So we'll just watch the angle here, because that will help us. That's the personality of the market, and that will tell us what's going to occur at that point. If we see this move down here come sharp, this thing, well, then we know that we could have a top in place here for this. And then we'll look at a bigger picture, and we'll look at short trades. We're going to be looking at short trades on the Nasdaq anyway in this rally. So this move down through here, we've just been waiting for the rally to start, which it has done on the Nasdaq and the S&P, and we'll look to short that. So we're going to be on the short side, but I don't want to short it on stocks because I don't have enough evidence for anything just yet. So I just want to wait. So in a nutshell, just to go back over this, it's possible that there's 3 things that can be occurring here. It's possible that we've got a wave 3 top in here. It's possible that we've got the blue wave 5 top in here, and it's possible that we've got wave 1 here. What we're going to do, just to recap, is we're going to just gather some more evidence in this particular space here. On the 4-hour chart, I've got it up there as wave 3 top here, looking for an A and a B and a C here for wave 4. And if it is a wave 4, then it's going to get more complicated, and I'll pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So we just need to wait here. We know the Nasdaq's got 5 waves down. We're looking for a little correction to come into play. I won't be shorting the stock, but if you're shorting the Nasdaq, you could probably short this at the same time. And we'll see how this comes down here. That if we get an angle like that in relationship to that there, then we'll know that there's more to come at that point. But if it's on more of an angle and it's reluctant to come down, then we know we've got a buying opportunity and we can move up from that point. But we'll still gather evidence, because we'll still want to see a 5-wave move in this point here, and then a pullback, and then we can go long from that point. So we're just waiting to see this here. We'll work it all out on the Nasdaq. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this company here, Guidewire, it's a software publisher and specializes in property and insurance. And it's been trending nicely for quite some time here, and probably need to do some more work on this count here, but I was looking at a 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave here, an A and a B and a C wave for wave 4 here. So this puts us in the same category as the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq and so on at this particular point. So understanding this particular structure in here becomes important. I don't see a buying opportunity just yet. This is a weekly chart, so let's go to the daily chart. So I can label this a little bit differently here too, with an A and a B and a C wave here for this. But that doesn't sort of bother me too much. It's this that sort of gets me going here. So we've got wave 1 and 2 in here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third wave, the fourth wave here. Now I could put I'm a little bit unsure about this, so I could put wave 4 here because I've got an ABC correction here, but I could also put wave 4 here because this this move up through here has come back and overlapped the top of this move here. So I've either got an A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave coming back down into this space for wave 4 here, and then we can pick it up at that point. So this can move down lower here for wave 4, and that's the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. Let's just check out the 38.2% retracement level. Need to take it from there roughly. So that's way up in here, so it's quite tight, so it may not necessarily come all that way down at that point. So that's interesting. So we'll keep an eye on this here. Of course we can go long. I should call out the long trade here, but that only takes us up into wave 5 up at this point, so that's a bit of an issue there. I mean, there's another way to count this up too. I'll just check that in a moment, but no, I won't go that because of the extensions in wave 3 here. All right, that means that wave 5 will be roughly the same as wave 1, so not a very big move. We'll just come back up to these previous highs. We'll probably fail to find support on top of group 1 here. It can still push up there and do all those sorts of things, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then the corrective move, but then don't won't come back down from that point. But this could be counted differently here also too. If this is wave 4 here, then this is wave 1 and 2 here, then this is wave 1 and 2 here, and then we would need to see that push up from that point. So on the 4-hour chart, it would look like this here. So from an ABC pattern here for wave 4, then wave 1 and 2 here, then wave 1 and ABC for wave 2 here. So it can't take out that low again from that point. So yeah, it could sit on here. The other thing with the wave 4 here, if that's wave 3 here, and this is in 3 waves here, and this is in 3 waves here, well then we could be in for a triangle here, which would make this an A, B, C, D, well, 5 waves, A, B, C, D, and E wave here, and then push up from that point. So there's a lot going on here. Not that interested in it, but if you wanted to trade here, a safe trade would be to have the 120 as support, tested support, and that will take you up to 130, and that's about it at this point. So I'm just really waiting to see where this is. If it pulls back down here, then I think it's a trade, because we can trade up for $30 in that point. But I need to see it down here first. I need to see an impulse wave down here, and it's not looking very impulsive down here at this stage. It's more corrective, so it doesn't interest me at this point. Let's move on to the next one. This stock here is an ADR. It's an Indian Mumbai bank, and it's the largest private sector bank by assets in India in market capitalization. And it has something like 1 million employees. So, I mean, and they can't also special in small loans as well. So, yeah, there's some good things happening about this particular stock. The count to the upside, you know, if we line the COVID correction up here with the rest of the markets, we can look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 here. We've got 5 waves in here, wave 4 here, but it does overlap this one here. So I'm aware of that. So we may end up looking at this, counting it differently, but it's probably the best fit at this stage. And it doesn't really interest me until all of this is finished. So if it was a corrective move up, then this wave 3 here would be wave C, and then would fold and come all the way down at this point. But if I can see a rough 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up here, then it becomes interesting for us, and then we'll look at this as the ABC correction pullback here, and then we'll move into it at this point, because then we'll look for that strong third wave to the upside. So we're still a long way off for all of this, but we'll just keep tabs on it, keep an eye on it, and if it ever falls into place, well, then we know that it's a healthy stock, it's a good stock, it's dominating its market share, and we'll be in on this third wave ride for this bank. It's pretty much the same count really as the Nifty 50 as well, or the BSE. So I mean, I track that market as well, as you may know. So I kind of see it all fitting together quite nicely in all of this. So let's just wait for that. But certainly this bank is a disruptor in its own right. Well, that's it. That's our 7 stocks. Some of the stocks that were Alphabet and Facebook and Xone we were already familiar with, but it was nice to introduce some of these other stocks, and we can build our knowledge base on those. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.